and how do we fit it all in? There's so much we have to do as ELA teachers, and doing writing workshops sometimes feels like it's almost like this extra wonderful thing that I would love to be able to do, but I can't fit it in. But when we get to the point where we're doing essay work and graded things, and they need to learn the skills of writing, and the way you learn the skill is to do it in a setting where you're not worried about failure. You can make mistakes and feel fine with it. So I set up my workshop in a way that is very similar to as if you were looking at a kid's basketball team or a little league team or something like that. Because I noticed my own son when he was in little league, and I would go drive up to drop him off, and he'd run out there and he'd start going and doing his warm-ups with a team captain, and the coach is somewhere else setting up bases, getting everything ready, and the kids are running it themselves and getting all ready to do the work that they're supposed to do during that practice. So now that is what I do in Writer's Workshop. So in my previous videos, I've gone through, we're at step 3 now of the 5 in order to get this type of workshop launched. For the first one, we talked about mood or ambiance, so go back and watch that video. The next one was the challenge, which is what do they write about? Can you use writing prompts? Should you let them have all free reign of whatever it is they want to write about? So go back and check that video. It's about to prompt or not to prompt. So today I'm going to talk about step 3, which is how do you use student leaders in your class in order to make things go really quickly, get the kids started right away. When Writer's Workshop starts, you're doing your thing, they're doing their thing, and everything gets started really quickly. So let's go to the screen and I'll show you how I do that. All right, so now we're at step 3, which is student leaders. And the way that I do that every year, I actually have them apply for the job. So I have 2 of them at a time. One of them is sort of like the president or something, or the captain. The other one's the co-captain. And they lead it. And the captain leads the meeting, and then co-captain does timekeeper. And they can have these jobs. Sometimes I do a month at a time. Sometimes I do a quarter at a time. It kind of depends on how many students I have who are interested in doing it. Usually once it gets started, the kids want to be the leader or be the timekeeper for sure, because they have a lot of cool things that they get to do. So then once it starts, they come in, they actually sit up at the front of the room, and they have like a special table with like a little plant or something. So it looks very professional. And they start the meeting. There is a script that they read, and then they can fill in with certain things. I give them some choice and ideas that they can add to it to make it their own. I'll be making like a PDF with how to do this whole workshop. And in that PDF, there will be links to student scripts that you can have that will be editable so that you can fix them for your class and whatever wording it is that you want to use, because you probably don't want to use my name in it. You want to use your own name. I get it. So look for that. So they also decide on a quick warm up. So I'm doing my thing, right? So I'm running around kind of getting my presentation set up or helping kids getting their notebooks. And the captain is deciding what the warm up is going to be. Now, every time it's sort of like, it's so quick. It's like, name 3 things that are yellow. And they write them down. And the leader picks out what it is they want to do, what topic and what color or what letter it starts with, something like that, which you'll see in the scripts. It just gets them with their hands on their journal writing so that they're not just passively sitting back and waiting for information. They need to write right then as they get started. And then after the warm up is done, we might have they might like call out their answers, just really fun kind of a thing. It's very fast. The leader reviews any PRs, and those are personal records. So we always do goals for each writing session, and those goals are lines, the number of lines that they're going to write. And the reason why I do that is because as an author, it's what I did. And a lot of other authors do this as well. They have like a word count goal for the day, or maybe a page number goal. So for me, when I was writing full time, I had 1,000 word goal, like which comes out to about 4 pages every day in order to, stay in deadline. So I think it's a really good skill for them to try and set a goal for that day. Like if I wrote 7 lines yesterday, I think I'm going to try for 9 lines today. they count down and they draw a line, and that's how far they want to try and get. And it's like this little reminder as they start writing of like, oh yeah, I want to try and get there. Because before we start the session, we always go over any of the PRs, and we have this, it's up on the board. So they get a little star or something whenever they've hit a personal record. And so nobody knows how long, how many lines they did. As long as they beat yesterday's line length, then they've made a personal record. So it's pretty cool for kids from any type of level of writing that they have. So after we go through a really quick who had any PRs, they draw their line for their new goal, however many lines they want to do that day. And if you have kids who don't write very much, this is one of those things where you can get them, even if they're writing one extra line the next day and another extra line the next day, they're making forward progress. So that's what you're looking for. And then we celebrate that. The timekeeper is then the one who will time all of this. So the first warm up that they do, that is timed for 60 seconds. Then we do the personal records. We typically don't time that. But then when it's time for me to come on and I do my mini lesson, I do that for 7 minutes. That's all the time I'm allowed to have. And the kids know it. And they tend to sit up and pay attention because they know I have this very small window of what it is that I want them to know. And I will get into more detail in other videos about exactly what lessons I teach. There is one on voice. You can go back and watch that one. And then once we've done the writing, I'll get into this later, but I did want to say once they start writing, here's the cool part. Your student leaders are the ones who take all the questions. If you have kids who are like, I don't know what to write about, the student leaders also present the prompt for that day. I have these, either it's a digital prompt or I have these writing dares they can do. So they have 3 different things that they can choose from for their writing, which is a whole nother video. But basically my point is that your student leaders are the ones who answer all the questions. I don't know what to write about. Am I doing this right? I'm stuck. And so I tell them to go to the student leader. And here's why. I find that if you're a kid who's kind of just like, not really feeling it, I don't really want to write today, I'm going to try and find a way to kind of get out of this. And you maybe in the past, you've gone up to the teacher and said, I can't think of anything. And then they kind of, hold you by the hand and, we don't want that. If you have to go to another student and say, I don't really know what to write about, the student is like very to the point. They're like, here, you're going to do you can do the rant and the rave, or you could do genre, or you could do a prompt. Pick one, And if somebody wants more choices, then we bring that to the class. So if there's a little bit different change in the rule, we bring it back to the group and we say, okay, what do you think? Should we give someone one more extra choice if they don't know what to write about? So it kind of comes back to the whole group because after all, it's their workshop. This is set up for them to become better writers and enjoy writing. That's the whole point of it. So that's how we get student leaders started. And then next time, we're going to talk about the power lessons that I teach. There are 6 of them, and there's a video in there that talks about the 6 super skills that I work on over and over and over again, all through the year until we're ready to get our essay writing done. And then finally is diamond mining, which is a whole nother topic and super fun and like the best part of your day, I promise. All right, in the comments, let me know if you've ever used student leaders. Is this something you've done before or something that you might consider, or any questions that you have about it? Put them down there. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.